Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Sorry, this is kind of a weird situation. So I've not presented in this situation before. So I'm trying to figure out how you all hear me. I'll try and keep an eye on the chat. I'm not good at doing that double duty sort of thing. And I'm having a hard time getting. All right, I'm going to just leave the stuff on the left because when I go to the presenter part, it is like hiding everything from me, so I can't see the chat. So I'm just going to work from here. Can you see the slides okay? All right, cool. We will do this together. All right. So I don't know, maybe you can give me some thumbs up if you've ever done capture the flag before, or thumbs down maybe if you've never done it before. I'm not sure what our options are in there as far as icons. Let's see what we got. Everybody's done it before? No. Okay, so looks like we have a good mix. Okay. So I love capture the flag, and that's actually one of the first things that I experienced when I started in cybersecurity. And so, let's see. I guess I'll do it this way. I love to share it. So today we're going to kind of like define what capture the flag is, and then I'll go over the different types there are. Then we will do where to start. And if you want to get a little jump on that, we're at the end, when we're doing our hands-on part, we're going to use CTF Learn. So, let me double check. I think it's .com, but I don't want to say that it is and then it's not. Yes, .com. So you can create an account for yourself there. It's free. And so that's where we'll be starting. And I'll talk about different ways that if you're already in the field about what kinds of CTFs are out there to sharpen skills. And then we will do some hands-on afterwards. So what is the difference between a CTF versus a hackathon? So when you hear hack, you think, that's like hacking into things, which if you look at the history of cybersecurity, one of my favorite book probably in cybersecurity is The Cuckoo's Nest by Cliff Stoll. And if you read that book, then it'll be very clear about like where the hack part comes from, but based in the coding. And so a CTF is, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to. So a hackathon is the coding part. And so a hackathon is not a CTF. A hackathon, the first time I went, it was even a cybersecurity hackathon. We went to that competition and we got there. It's just like, oh my gosh, we're supposed to be coding. We're supposed to develop an app that we can say does this great thing. And this hackathon has nothing to do with hacking in my mind, right? It had to do with coding. So a hackathon is not a CTF. CTF also is not that game that you may have played as children, or I would take my son to Boy Scouts and they would play capture the flag. It's not that playground game. So what is it? So let me know if this is coming through. If not, I will just talk through it.
Basically, it's going to comprise of multiple services or challenges that are put together for you to go out and practice your security skills. The idea is to get out grab flags, and they're going to be points for you. And a virtual CTF flag will look like one of these two probably down here. You're kind of looking for the vulnerability at the beginning. You are given the prompt, and you want to find out, using all the information possible, where do I look for this little flag? I get it.
What if I don't know anything about web security?
So a CTF is a set of security challenges. And when you solve the challenge, you'll have something that you're going to type into a space like on the origination page. And so that is your flag. Your flag is what it could be a phrase. It could be an actual like code that you would type in. And you're given a set of scenarios, and then you solve the challenge. And when you solve that challenge, you get your flag. Oh, thank you. It was Cuckoo's Egg, not Nest. Sorry. Yes. Great, great book. And it took place at my alma mater, which is UC Berkeley. So that was exciting for me too. So there are different kinds of CTFs. And Jeopardy style is one of the most common. So that's what we will be doing when we go to CTF Learn. But you will see them all over the place. So here are two examples, and it's kind of like the game Jeopardy. You have a category, and then you have cards underneath that are worth different amounts of points. And so you do not necessarily have to go in order. There are a few CTFs, and I'm wearing my NCL National Cyber League t-shirt today, that where you are required to like go through a first step before you. A lot of them you are not required to do that. So Meta CTF is one, and then the Sans Tomahawk, you can see like this Sans Tomahawk really does look like a Jeopardy board. And the Meta here, you can see you have these different categories here, and you could just click on the one that you want and go to that. So if cryptography is your thing, which is where I started with my CTFs, love cryptography and password cracking. So I do a lot of that. You just click on that and you go to that category and you choose what you want to compete in. There are also what are called attacker versus defender CTFs. And those are more like war games where you have a red team and a blue team. The blue team has their infrastructure and they're trying to protect it to make sure that the red team cannot get in. And those are usually more, you find those more in some situation like, at a college level where they have the infrastructure to do it. But for most of us, we will be finding our red team challenges still through a Jeopardy style CTF. And so I like to show this one because it shows that like you can grow. This is a difference for me from this original one. I want to say was probably in, don't see a date on it, but 2020, spring or summer of 2020. And then I did this one this summer in 2021. So in a year. So if you can see here, I earned 75 points. I was 368 out of this group. And those 75 points were probably just like those initial flags that you get where you follow the rules, like it teaches you how to play in that platform. And I got 75 points. So a year and a half later, I was playing my games and continuing studying and doing whatever I could do to build my skills. And I got about half of the points this past summer. And so it was worth about 7,500 if I remember correctly. And I got up to 3,770. Super, super exciting for me. And just to kind of show you that if you keep playing, you keep building your skills. And it's, in my opinion, the most fun way to build skills. There are also blue team challenges, and I keep looking to go into Range Force, and I have to admit I still haven't gotten there. And they do have different games all of the time, so you just need to go in and check and see, if something is happening. Now, if you are good at gaming controllers, I think that this interactive one is a good way for you to go. Like I'm not good with the gaming controller sort of thing. And you take this little person here, this is me, I'm Piranha Mama, and you walk this character around and you talk to the people and you go into the different areas and you solve the challenges that you find there. So for me, the learning curve to just like figure out how to move my little mono around, not good. So I think this is, somebody who has a little more dexterity. It's game, not mine, but the challenges are good. If you can get into one, if you can walk there and get there. For me, this is not this is not my forte, but I think, Sands has this KringleCon, so this will be coming up soon. It will be every year they have one, and the old ones are out there as well. So if you want to check out KringleCon, you can go and you can find the old games, and you can also go and kind of put something in your calendar or something to remind you to check on it in December, because I think it comes out pretty much at the beginning of the month. So this is happening this weekend, and there might still be tickets for it. I got my ticket last night, and there were still some. This is an OSINT for good. So if you don't know what OSINT means, it means open source intelligence. And in NCL, that's like usually like the first category that I complete in its entirety. It really is about using your mind and your common sense along with whatever you can just find online to solve the challenges. And so OSINT for good means that this group of people get together, and it's usually like, I don't know, maybe like once a quarter, something like that. And they have a Discord channel now. I will drop that in the chat for you all, if I can. At the end of the talk, when we're done, I will find that OSINT. And if somebody reminds me, if I don't jump on it right away, please do. And I will drop the link for the Discord channel, because they used to be on Slack and now they've just moved to Discord. So I'm super excited about that, because I always have my Discord open, and it will be a lot easier for me to stay on top of what's going on with Trace Labs. But there is one happening on Saturday. And when I bought my ticket last night, it's $20, which I feel is, a good price to pay for a CTF, as well as I know that this is going to a good effort. And they use crowdsourcing to find clues to help law enforcement track down missing persons. So this is the only CTF that I know of out there that has a practical application, and it's an amazing experience. I've done both the player and the judge side, and I'm not sure which side I like better, but I am doing the competitor side this time. And I think more because I have a little more control over my time is the only thing. So I say probably the biggest benefit for me of being a player versus being a judge, because if you're a judge, then you have a bunch of clues that you're having to vet, and so you're kind of on the whole time. So I would say those are the only two aspects there. Any questions? This is supposed to be interactive, even though it's still kind of hard. Please, if you have questions or comments, share them in the chat. All right, so where to start? So Pico CTF is out there, and they have a lot of opportunities. They create new games every year. I was at the Women in Cybersecurity conference in September, and there was a team there doing Pico CTF as part of the program. It was awesome. And they have a primer, so you can go in and read, right? So you can learn about the different techniques that you can use to solve the challenges. And they have a gym that you can use when the games are not actually happening. So you can go in there and practice. And this was the first one I learned about. So when you go into the gym, like I said, there's practice and compete, and then the primer. So like here you could go in and learn about web shell exploitation. And it's laid out very nicely and gives you a bunch of learning opportunities. And then again, it's another one of those Jeopardy style CTFs, and you can just go in, and this is what the gym looks like. The gym is set up the same way. So you can go in and click the different challenges and work through them, or pick what you like, right? So here's cryptography. This is reverse engineering, which I'm really excited to say that thanks to Day of Security, I have learned how to do some reverse engineering. So the Boston Cybernetics Institute had a course. So watch here because they might do it again. Go to their booth and talk to them, see what they're offering. And they spent a week with us training us on how to do reverse engineering. So even though I tried to use IdaPro and Ghidra in the past and like banged my head against the keyboard a few times, I actually was able to like learn how to read some of the code and the assembly. And actually in my last CTF, I was able to use Ghidra to help me find information. It was super, super thrilling. So go to BCI in the expo and see what they have going on. They're awesome. And so another similar is NCL, National Cybersecurity competition. If you're in the college level, all of these are available to you. So I can't play NCL anymore because you're allowed to play for 1 year past graduation. And I'm past that now. But I still encourage, like I'm a coach for high school students. I encourage them to go. And so I kind of still have my nose in there, but I don't get to compete anymore. And then they also have, this is one of the red team, blue teams that I was telling you about. So the CCCD is where you get injects and you have to protect your system. And I've not ever experienced the collegiate pen testing competition, but I do know that it's out there. All right, so National Cyber League. Same sort of setup where you have, here are your categories down the side, and then they give you this awesome spider web, right? Which is like, goes with today's theme as well. And you fill it in. So as you accomplish a task, it fills in, and this spider web will kind of show you where your strengths and weaknesses are at the end of the games. They also have a gym, right? So the gym is open for a really long time. So the competition has just started. It was like the past few weeks, but I want to say that the gym has been open at least since the first week of October, and it will still be open a couple of weeks, maybe even a month after the team games. And right now they're going to be doing the individual game, I believe, this coming weekend. These happen twice a year. It happens in the fall and the spring. So if you didn't get in on it this year and you're a college student, you can still get in on it for the spring. Just kind of keep an eye. And in the interim, they do talks. So NCL does a lot of education in between. So they not only teach you how to play the games, but they will cover topics like that are the titles of the individual categories. And so you can see here that like this was the clue, right? So you have this picture of this lamb, and you can either work from it here or you can download it onto your own computer to work with it. And then you answer these questions to gain points. And they have solutions in the gym to help you figure out how to do it. And some of them correlate really nicely with what will be there. And sometimes it'll be a different kind of challenge when you get to the actual games. But the awesome thing, and I did use this right after graduation as one of the supporting documents. Sometimes when you're applying for a job, not only do you get to upload like your cover letter and your resume, but sometimes it'll say, do you have any additional documents? So I would occasionally, and I actually reorganized it because the first page is a lot of talk, and so it's a wall of text. So I would upload like this kind of page first, like whatever my strength was, that would be my first page of the report that I would upload. And then if they wanted to read more about it, then they could go to the wordy page. But it gives a really good picture of like, what were you able to accomplish during the NCL games and what your strengths and weaknesses are. So it's an amazing tool. And as I mentioned, there are resources out there. So there's a blog, CryptoKate has a blog, and all of the ambassadors contribute to this blog at this point. And so it's a great place to go. And then they do a weekly webcast. I think it's on Crowdcast, but you can also find that as well. And it's $35 per person each semester that you play. And I think it is money well spent. So not only can you do it as a college student, but you can also utilize these CTFs to build your strengths in a professional environment. And you will encounter them, these different CTFs, at conferences. And I didn't see that there were any CTFs at this conference, but I was recently at the Black Hills Deadwood conference, and back in June at their Wild West Hackin' Fest, and they had CTFs there. There were like 3 or 4 different CTFs that I could participate in. And, so that's like the challenge doing the CTFs at the conference. Like, okay, am I going to spend my whole time in the CTF, or am I going to go to session? So it's like, that's the hardest thing about that, is the balancing game. But again, they're a blue team, and industry can hire these in as well. Oh, yes, I will definitely share my slides. I'll figure out how to do that, but you can also hit me up on LinkedIn. And if I can't figure out how to do it here, then you can still get them. And they're also on GitHub, so you can find them there as well. And my username there is also Piranha Woman. So there's Blue Team, and this can be hired into your company, and you will also see these CTFs out at conferences. And then this is my new love, right? So I'm not a coder. I think I may have already said that. But I've been able to play with the CTF at those 2 Black Hills conferences. And it's so cool. So you can see here, all of these languages, right? You get to go in and say, this is the language that I want to work on. And I do another talk that's called Code Hedgehogs. And I really say this is a great resource, right? Because my hashtag Code Hedgehogs talk is about how I am not a coder, but I can still break the code, right? So it's important for people who do code to sharpen their skills. And I think this is a great tool. And so what happens when you do this CTF is you pick your language that you're going to use. And then when you go in, you have these different missions. And so you click on the first one, and it gives you this piece of code. And from that piece of code, you have to identify the weak spots. So first you do that, and you click that. And when you're right, you then get the option to go in and say, okay, so how do you fix this code? And then you have to choose the piece that fixes the code. And so it's just a super cool CTF. And they, again, also have training and courses and sorts of things that can be used at the enterprise level. But if you are at a conference and you get a chance to poke your head into the Secure Code Warrior CTF, I highly recommend it. So again, like I said, Black Hills, they have a lot of them, but Black Hills also has their own cyber range. And if you take one of their classes at a certain price point, because Black Hills has training that is pay what you can. So if you're just breaking into cybersecurity and you want to get some high quality training that will fit your wallet because you don't have a big company paying for it, then definitely check out Black Hills. They make this joke that they suck at capitalism, but honestly, I'm sure that they're doing fine financially because, it comes back to you. And I can't say enough good things about Black Hills. So they have a cyber range. It's $30 a month if you're not taking a course and you just wanted to do it on your own. And so you can still have access to it. And I think you may have remember this. I showed it to you in the Jeopardy section of the slides. So Meta CTF, when they retire their challenges, Black Hills brings them into their cyber range. And so not only are the actual retired challenges there, but then you'll find these videos where John Strand will go in and say, okay, so this is how you approach this. And so this is a great place, again, where you get to do the challenges and you have the support of this. So this isn't like the, I think it's a little more interactive just because they are his videos. And so you kind of feel like he's talking to you opposed to some of the other ones, which are a little more static. But so this is another great place to check out. And then let's see, Then, of course, there are these other places. So you've probably already heard of Hack the Box and Try Hack Me, but they do have competitions as well. And so you can go in and find CTFs in these platforms. And then there are people who have gone through and actually aligned things like from, this was curated by TJ Null at NetSec Focus. And he's like, okay, so I want to prep for the OSCP. So which boxes out there can I be practicing on? So you can go out there, and he kind of broke down like these categories, like, okay, if you need Linux boxes or Windows boxes, or, and then he says, these are more challenging than the OSCP, but good practice, right? So you can prep for those exams using these resources as well. And like Try Hack Me is like $10 a month if you buy the subscription, but both Hack the Box and Try Hack Me have free interfaces as well, and they also have education linked to them. And then here's another one. So this is through VulnHub and Hack the Box for the OSWE, like VMs that you can use. And if you look down here, it shows you like the different tabs, right? So VulnHub, Proving Grounds, Hack the Box, and then the OSWE. So each of these three here are the ones for the OSCP. So, and then SANS has resources as well. So this is a 1 hour. So I would recommend, like, if you have an hour that you can block out and just see how much you can get through, this is the Cyber Start to get through. Again, if you are part of Women in Cybersecurity WESIS or of their college, at their college level, they have just released keys for students to access the CyberStart platform. And it's like $150 if you pay for it yourself. It's like $80 if it's free. So that's a great perk for Women in Cybersecurity members to be able to get access to this, you know. And I think last year it was, you had access for like 3 months to it. They had told us it would be a year, and it wasn't, because I waited till summer and by then it was gone. So, so definitely if you take one of those tokens from WESIS, if you're a member, a student member there, and if you are, check out their website and see if you can find a chapter in your area or whatever, and you can just join as a student member. So if you're a student member that's unaffiliated, reach out to me and I can connect you with a student so that they can help you get a token to be used. So this is laid out. It has basically 4 distinct bases, and then they also have the field manual, and the field manual is their training ground. So you can track your progress, you can earn badges, and then the scenarios are kind of fun as well. They lay it out, in story mode for you. And then there's, a briefing, you get flags again. There are hints available to help you work through it. And then they kind of teach you all of the components that you need to work through the different bases. And again, so you have headquarters, forensics, moon base, volcano base, and then your field manual, which is your ability to work. So I went through that kind of quickly, but I definitely want us to be able to get to the CyberChef and CTF Learn, where you're all able to set up your accounts. Because what I want to do now is kind of just do a walkthrough, and I'm going to stop sharing this and then go in and share my actual screen of where I will do that. And I think that I can let people speak if they want to speak. I'm not really sure. I guess if you request, then I can give you access. So just so that that's available as well. All right, so see if I can share. Yay. Okay. So hopefully your screen looks like this. And then the other thing that you want to open, and so I just do this. I mean, like, just because. So I Google CyberChef online, and so I see it's not sharing it. Try this again. Okay, so I go to CyberChef online and just search that. And then it's this one here. So it says I copy the link address. No, CTF Learn is not the, oh, sorry, you're talking to Honoris. Yep. All right, thanks, Tracy. I'm sorry that you can't stay for the fun part, but definitely hit me up if you need help with anything or if you have any questions. Oh, and I agree, Elaine. Anti-siphon classes are awesome. All right, so I dropped the link into the chat, and we're going to be using this tool. So CyberChef here. And I'm going to see if I can get it to just share a window instead of a tab. All right. Yay. Okay. We did it. All right. So, again, so like I said, whenever you go into a CTF, you're going to have, see, this one's called Practice Flag. And so you're going to learn how to use that platform. And so it says, this is what a challenge on CTF Learn looks like. Each challenge has a flag, which is the key to solving it. We've gone ahead and given you the flag for this challenge. As challenges get harder, the flags will be more difficult to find. Try putting in the flag. So we're just going to copy this flag here. Down here where it says flag, right? So it gives you the format. So it's going to be always CTF Learn, and then it's going to have these brackets and then some code inside of it. And sometimes you'll find a flag where they tell you this is the format, and you'll find what you think is the flag. So you'll have to type out the format. So like maybe you found some phrase that you know is the flag, so it doesn't come in this format. So then you would type CTF Learn, and then parentheses, then put the flag inside, close parentheses, and then submit it. But oftentimes it will look exactly like what you're supposed to put in. All right, and so then it turned green, and I got 10 points. So then you can go up here to challenges, and you can pick what kind of challenge you're going to do. I am going to do this character encoding one because some of these are, even though they're easy, are not as easy and may or may not cooperate with what I want to show you with the CyberChef. So, but I'm fairly certain that this character encoding one will. So let's see. In the computing industry, standards are established to facilitate information interchanges among American coders. Unfortunately, I've made communication a little bit more difficult. Can you figure this one out? So I am going to copy this here. And I'm going to drop it in input in CyberChef. Okay. So do people have an idea of what you think this could be? If you want to type in the chat, if you have an idea of what kind of code you might think this is. And there are other tools out there. So I don't have that here, but you could actually just go straight onto Google and say, what kind of code is this cipher? And you'll have a tool where you can drop this in and it'll probably tell you, oh, we think it's this. All right, so if we look at the numbers here, like we have digits and then we have letters. And if you'll notice, the letters are only going up to F. So to me, that says that it's probably, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Sarah. So I'm going to search here. And see, I get hex, lots of hex options here. And I'm going to pull this one here that says from hex. And this is what I got here. So I can go back, I can copy it just like it is. I'm going to drop it in and see if that works like that. It may or may not. We might have to do that CTF learn that we saw earlier, but let's see what happens. Oh, and you read what it says. It says, and that's kind of how we know that that probably is the flag, right? Because it says ASCII is useful. Yay, and that was it. So so it is showing that there was something before the flag and then the flag inside. So it did not have CTF learn in this flag. It had ABC TF. So and so another thing that, which this one doesn't require it, but if there are multiple steps to solving whatever's in your input, you can stack your recipe, right? So before you bake it. So you might have like 3 or 4 steps and you can stack the recipe and then run it to solve it. But I usually just drag and drop the one that I'm using. You can just get rid of this one. So we'll be done with that. And I can empty out this and get ready for my next challenge. So challenges. Here's another base one. So let's see what that one says. Okay, so we have this here. Oh, so I was asking. So again, when you're playing a CTF, not only are there hints in the information that's given inside the challenge, but where do you see another hint in this one? So what do you think about the title? What do you think that is saying, the title? You got it, Daria, exactly. Or Daria, hopefully I said it right. So I'm going to go in here into my CyberChef. And I'm going to put base 64. So from base 64 and drag that in here. And here we go. Nice. And in my slides at the end, I give a whole list of other tools that you can use to solve some of these things, like the Morse code one, right? I don't know if that's like physical or if it's the sound. Oh, so it's a picture one, right? So we can probably find, I don't know, let's see what this has. From Morse code. Oh, it did. So says flag Samuel Morse is cool by the way I like cheese. Okay. I'm not sure how this one's going to work in there. So let's see. Might be one of those ones where we have to figure out how to input it. Oh, that worked. Okay, awesome. Let's see what this Wikipedia one is. Anybody see what it might be? Did you figure it out on your end? You think I should just try the IP address? I tried searching the IP address inside of Wikipedia. I don't know. I'll have to try that another time. If you all figure out, oh, okay, try the Who Is Gateway. You think that's it? All right, I can try it. Did anyone get it yet? Oh, see, it says incorrect. Hack harder. All right, I'm going to leave that open. I'm going to figure that out later. It's not going to beat me. All right, so let's see. See what this Forensics 101 is. Okay. Okay, so I have this, and I'm going to download it onto my, and I usually have a place, but I'm just going to drop it here to CTF. And then I'm going to go back here and delete this out. And then I'm going to drag this picture that I just downloaded in here. So with pictures, there are lots of different things we can do. Do you all have any suggestions? If you have some, then I'll take yours first. If not, I can start with it. All right, so one of the first thing that I do when I have a picture is I just do strings. So I'm going to drag strings over here and see what strings are in here. And my flag is not going to be 4. It's going to be at least, you know, CTF learn is at least 8, right? So, there we go. So I use a high enough number here for my strings because I know that my flag is going to be longer than that. Yay. So that was easy. So even though that one was really easy, I want to show you that there are other things in here that you can look at with this picture. So I did strings because that's like the first step whenever you have an image. See if there's anything that's hidden in the background. But to also do that, you can also from here do EXIF data. So I can extract EXIF data. If there's any, there weren't any tags in this, but sometimes, like especially for the OSINT challenges, it will just be asking you like, what camera was it taken from, or what was the place or the date that it was taken. And so you can extract the EXIF data from CyberChef as well. You also have in here multimedia, so you can kind of see here. Sometimes like I've had things where the coloring was off, so you can play with the different ways that the image can be with the different ways that the image can be seen, right? So maybe it was something that was hidden because of the coloring. So if I invert it, then maybe I'll be able to see it there. You can also extract files, right? So let's see. Extract files. What else might be hidden in there? So this is just this, right? But if there's something else in there, then you'll get a list of different types of files and it might be there. So what about you all? Have you looked at the challenges? Are there any that you want to try? And I can see, like, I don't know if I'll know them, but okay. So when I downloaded it, here, it showed up here. And so I just dragged it from here. But you can also use this add new input, right? And I can, oh, sorry, that adds a tab. And I can do that too. Like sometimes, so like where I just have the, sorry, so open folder as input. So I can then go here, right? And so I'll just use quick access because I know I just downloaded it and it's going to show up. So open file as input, then quick access. And this is the one I just downloaded. And so I can open it here. So again, so like I said, extract files. And so let's say that it was more than one file, then I can tell it right here that I want to take this up either into the input, or I can add a tab and then add it to the input here. So I can either replace what I had there or I can open it in another tab. All right, so let's see. Can my robots, let's see what this one is. So I think this is just the answer. So let's see if I just type it. Nope. Natalie, it's just ctflearn.com. Are there any challenges that you all want me to open up? Are you all playing? So, all right, so here's that zip file. And when I unzipped it, I got two pieces of information. I got the flag. Nice job. The password is I'm the flag. And then here's the flag. So open this up. And I'm going to type in terminal is cool. So I think it is the curly brackets because I didn't use that. Oh, I missed the underscore. Yay. Okay, so another thing that when you're getting started, and we have a little bit of time here, I don't have it on this laptop, but both VirtualBox and VMware have free virtualization. And so then you can pull in Kali Linux. And the reason I thought about that is because I just saw this one that says Binwalk. So, you know, Binwalk is something I would probably be doing in Linux. I would pull this down. I haven't done this one before. I'm going to throw it in here and just see what I get anyway. I guess I can extract. It's not how I would normally start, but let's see what it says, what we see here. Okay, so this is what I was talking about before, right? So we have a bunch of different things, but this is like these 3 bytes, 27 bytes, those probably aren't anything, but maybe one of these bigger ones are. And this one says it's a ping, and then this one's a ping. I wonder, I'm going to see what happens if I push this into the extracted one. Is that, did I do them both? And then I see this word deflate here, so I'm going to take this off. I could run strings on that. But the hint on it says Binwalk, right? So like I would just take it into Linux and run Binwalk on it, but right, so I just typed the file type and it said zlib. So I'm going to put deflate here. Zlib deflate. It didn't give me anything. But you can see here that I have 2 different things in my recipe, because the first thing I wanted to do was like identify what kind of file it was, and then I wanted to do something to it. So it didn't work here, but this is how you would like stack the different steps on top of each other. And sometimes I'll just leave this one in here and then I'll just add a new tab because I'm like, okay, I'll come back to that later. Nope. So here's another one that shouldn't be too bad. So we have ones and zeros. Oh, you pulled it out, Natalie, from the purple JPEG. So if you want to share that with people, that would be fine. Do other people want to know what it was? I can also let you share your screen if you would like, Natalie. Oh, okay. All right, so I think we all know what the zeros and ones are, yes? Or do we have people that are really, really new who don't know what the zeros and ones are? So again, so I just picked from binary, and because I recognized what the code was. So here's another one. In the title, it says extraordinary, right? So we can probably guess that that's what that's going to be. Let's see what it is. Nope. Any suggestions on this one? All right, so here's one that's a veneer cipher. And we're given this key here, Blorpy, so I'm going to type that in and see if it works. So this on the Brux ore, so there is no technique called, there's a technique called brute force. So I'm dropping this message in here and I'm going to try the XR brute force from CyberChef. And this is a lot of information, so I'm going to copy the information and then just drop it like into Word or something so that I can search it. If you all have techniques that you use that are more efficient than mine, I would love to hear them. Ah, found it. Do any of you have any questions about things that we have 3 minutes left in here, I guess. That time flew, gosh. I hope it was fun for you. It was fun for me. I didn't even realize how the time flew. So that's how I knew that I love doing CTFs, because I tell you, I was working on something yesterday and like I was just like eating constantly because I couldn't concentrate on what I needed to be doing because it was so dull. But this is like, here it went. I asked like, how much time do we have left? We have 30 minutes. Those 30 minutes are up. Like when I go into a CTF, I am just like in it. And, you know, I do a lot of pecking around. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. But when I'm in the flow, it's just like the time just goes. And that's the way it'll be on Saturday. Oh, good. I hope it was helpful. I kind of feel like, you know, I was sitting here playing. So did I meet your expectations? I hope I did. Any last minute questions? Oh, yay, Cara. I'm glad that you had your first experience and it was awesome. Yeah, so you can like just peck through this one again, go back and do that SANS one, the 60-minute one, that's free as well, and do that. And oh, huge misstep on my CTFtime.org always has CTFs listed. So like if you're like, oh, I'm going to have some time this weekend, let me see if something's going on, probably something is. So definitely check out CTFtime.org. It is awesome. When I first got into CTFs, that was one of my go-to places to figure out what was happening next. So it shows you here, you know, the different ones. And definitely, you know, I don't really know where all these events come from. Do them inside of your VM. Do it inside your Kelly box on your VM, or in your Windows box in your VM. You never really know what's out there, so be safe. Like CTF Learn, I know it's a learning site, right? I'm not going to worry about it. People probably are not in there trying to do nefarious things, but I have seen like some of the CTFs that I've done at CTF time where somebody who was not so nice went in and broke their game. So you don't know who's on the other side of it. So make sure that you are doing it from your VMs if it's not a known quantity. And same thing, if you decide to do the TraceLab CTF that is happening this weekend, then do that inside of the VM as well. And I'm going to drop that in here into the chat as well. Oops. And it looks like there are still tickets available if you decide you want to do that one. All right, I guess I need to wrap up, but thank you all so much for coming and for hanging out with me and playing. I wish we had voice. I think it would have been a little more fun if we could have talked to each other. Definitely, if you have friends, hook up together on Discord and, talk while you play. I think it's a lot more fun to do it that way. And for sure, with your Trace Labs, having conversations with your team makes all the difference. Thank you all for coming.